Hi, friends, and welcome. Thanks for joining us again this week. We have a great two-part adventure coming your way that starts in southern Texas. Brad and Sue Morgan joined me last spring down at the Rio Bonito Ranch for kind of a spring break for grown-ups trip. And I have to tell you, if you're a frequent flyer, you've probably already seen the tremendous time and the tremendous effort Sue Morgan put forth to harvest a wild hog and a great doll ram. This was a real challenge for her, and if you didn't see that program, here's just a little bit of it. Here you go ahead. Perfect.
Did I hit
Perfect. You hitting me right now. You did it perfect.
I hit him.
You did perfect. Sue Morgan. Got a rifle for Christmas and a pig for Easter. See a great white ram at the back of the group. But there would only be seconds. You got him.
I hit him.
You did. Now watch him. Was that exciting?
Yeah.
Sue made a Herculean effort to get over some trauma in her recent past, took up the gun and got back into hunting, and I was proud and honored to be there with her to see it happen. But believe it or not, that was just a small part of that trip. We were also in camp with the Combat Marine Outdoors outfit, and these vets and their family made that camp such a good time. We truly enjoyed them. And I also got a chance to go out with Brad Morgan, and we only had a morning, but we went out for Brad's first ever wild turkey hunt. Now, after all of that, we're going to come back up to Michigan, where my good friend Eric Lund is going to join Bob Ison from Another Limit Guide Service and I for a day of steelhead fishing over on the Big Manistee River. But first, I'm your host, Kyle Randall. This is my Wilderness Journal, and we're headed down south to do some Texas turkey talking right now. We were set up in just one of the pastures in the 25 square miles of open range down at the Rio. Dan Fox, the head guide at the Rio, had set us up in this blind, but so far,
That's some rabbits.
all I'd managed to call in was a jackrabbit.
You go right ahead and shoot that one.
And then a few minutes later, we did notice one hen working her way up through the sendero. We kept watching, and pretty quick another one was working her way in through the trees.
No, that one's a hen. That's definitely a hen. If it's a chick, it's a really
We had managed to call in at least a couple of turkeys, but unfortunately, at least so far, there weren't any toms. We were running out of time. We'd already worked a couple of spots, and that group of hens that moved across in front of us was as close as we'd gotten so far. With just a couple of hours left, I was beginning to have my doubts. That is until I noticed a couple of toms moving into the very far end of the sendero. We had a ways to bring them, but this wasn't over, not yet.
Here comes more turkeys. Oh, yeah.
I was calling, and we had heard and then saw a jake, followed by at least a couple of better toms coming into the far end of the sendero. These birds were a couple of 100 yards out, but they were obviously responding. They were coming. Now all we needed to do was get them to come a whole lot farther for Brad to get a chance.
There's some bigger toms on the left. No, just try to watch it. Not move too much if you would, please.
We had managed to pull both of the birds over halfway in across the sendero, and they were still coming. One of the birds looked like a real nice 3-year-old, and the other one was an absolute roper. My only concern was I could actually hear the hens off to our left starting to chirp in the brush. And then, just as I'd feared, the toms cut off into the brush. They were going to circle us. That was a great tom, but it was clear he was already circling. He was going to go around and follow those hens we'd seen earlier. If we were going to get any kind of a shot, we needed to move. We needed to get up and go out across the opening, sit out in the open in those trees, and then hopefully, as that bird passed through, Brad would get his chance. Now, I have to tell you, this is risky business, but at this point, it was all or nothing. We got up, charged across the opening, and then sat down and just hoped we hadn't been seen. We got out there and I called and the bird responded immediately. In fact, he was past us. I whispered to Brad, "Wing your shotgun over to the next opening." I called again and he was right there somewhere in the bush. Now we just needed him to step out. Keep an eye on him. We finally talked that old boy in here. Go get that bird, Bradley. Hold that up. Look at that, Tom. Do you need help carrying that, Brad? You got it? Well, bring it over here. We'll set it up by a tree. Bring that right there and set her down, brother. That. Get him up on you. Spread that fan out. Look at that.
Isn't that a beautiful bird?
Look at that thing.
I've never seen him come in like this.
Well, this Texas turkey thing, sometimes it can be tough. And you'll go like you've seen here, 3-4 days, and boy, they just don't talk. And then for whatever reason, that one day, and today seems to be that day, everywhere we've gone, we've called toms.
Yeah, they've responded to everything that went out there.
It just
amazing.
And to get a tom that old, I mean, you look at the spurs on that bird, that's how you age him. Yeah. That's a 3 or 4 year old turkey, and you just don't find it. That's like shooting a 10-point whitetail, dude.
Exactly. Well, I'm not very experienced at this. I've never killed a turkey. So
well, tell me, what do you think?
Oh, I think I'm hooked.
You got him, brother. Keep an eye. I'm thankful, I really am, that both of you come down and join me, and I really appreciate you sticking out. You got to leave in about, I don't know, 40 minutes?
There's an airplane waiting. There was a 9th inning.
Well, you know what? We were down to the last, but we've said 1,000 times on our show, Brad, there ain't no quit in our outfit.
No, it was awesome.
Because if you don't try...
No, I just want to thank you guys for having me down here.
Well, I shouldn't say it out loud, but you know Dan Foxy does a pretty good job. And most of the time, unless he drives up in the middle of a turkey hunt. But,
not bad.
You know, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
We got a good chuckle out of it.
We did too. You know what? Everybody here down at the Rio Bonito, they do what they can, and you know, it's always a little bit more than you expect. It's a pleasure to come here in the wintertime when it's snowing up home.
No question. There's no snow.
No. I mean, it's kind of sad, but I ain't had nothing but a T-shirt on all week. Are you ready to go toot the horn and show off your bird?
I'm ready to go toot the horn.
All right, buddy. Let's go find the boss and get her done.
Awesome.
Don't you love it when a plan comes together? Congratulations, Brad. You did an awesome job, and that was a tremendous Rio Grande Tom. We made that move, got out across the opening, and that time we got away with it. It was exciting. It was everything a wild turkey hunt's supposed to be, and I have a sneaking suspicion it won't be Brad's last. We'll probably be back down at the Rio with Gwen and everybody chasing some more of those thunder chickens come next spring. Now, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's head a couple of 1,000 miles north, back up to Michigan, where my good friend Eric Lund is coming over from Ontario, Canada, for our outdoor expo, the one we have in Cadillac each year. This year, like years past, though, he's coming a day early so we can run on over to Manistee and hang out with my buddy Bob Ison of Another Limit Guide Service. I have to tell you, Eric comes to our expo at the WEX each year, and we have a great time. But I also have a sneaking suspicion it's more than a little bit about coming for the fishing. He does like that steelhead thing. A cold and mostly clear sunrise met us at the boat ramp, and after piling all our stuff into Bob's jet sled, we were headed out fishing. See how warm it is? I told you it'd be warm. Nice, huh?
That is. Hate to see what it's like. It's going to be cold here.
I got my suit just like that, but I'll just cook in it.
And you're in the right
business?
The right line of business.
All right. Do some work. Yeah, 10 rod?
No, this is a spay rod. You mean center pin? Is that?
Yeah.
I remember. Interestingly, that's.
How many pieces of that thing are there?
There are 4.
Yeah, and what's it turn out being, 12, 14 feet?
It's almost 13 foot.
Huh?
Two-hander.
What do you need a boat for?
That's true.
You stand on one bank, fish the other. Bob had us set up on the first run, and we were getting some lines in the water. Finally, we were going to get to fishing.
Well, if anything, that thing's pretty.
Well, you look good and catch the big one, then you really got it going on.
That's true.
So orange would be the color you'd...
What do you got for big bugs? That's pretty big. That zonker, that'll work pretty good.
Don't tell him that.
The white one?
The
white one. Yeah. Am I allowed to use them down here? Is that allowed, or is it?
I thought they outlawed them last year on the Esnagami, but I don't think those are Canadian rules, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
White zonker. Are you kidding me? Really? Did that actually just happen? Friends, if you don't know what a white zonker is, it's a streamer fly that just happens to be my fly of choice when I'm up at Eric Lund's place chasing big brook trout. In fact, I use it so much that Eric tends to give me a hard time about it, and I might mention to him once or twice through each day that we fish together that he ought to be fishing it. So you might appreciate when Bob suggested that was the fly he ought to try here in Michigan. Well, let's just say I love it when the world comes full circle, you know what I mean? A white zonker. Seriously?
I wasn't supposed to know that.
You put a gun to his head, you couldn't make one tie one of them on. You just have to watch the trout fishing shows from up north to understand. Well, rest assured, Eric tied on something other than a white zonker and got to fishing. Working with this spay rod was something fairly new even for him, and I did honestly hope he'd catch something.
I hope he gets a big one.
I do too.
Hear him hooting and hollering.
Yeah, he will too, like a little girl.
I bet he will.
We worked that first run for the better part of an hour, but unfortunately couldn't turn a single fish. It was time to move. Bob expertly slid us into the next hole and then dropped the anchor. Eric started casting, and I remember thinking, well, at least the sun has finally come out. Maybe that'll turn the fish on.
Now I got to look good.
Well, I wouldn't get out of hand. We fished that run for better than a half hour, but unfortunately still no takers. We had tried just about everything we had, but we couldn't turn a fish. We definitely needed to try something different. White zonker.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
That one.
Yeah.
If I put that on, will you stop bugging me?
Nope. If you catch a fish, though, I will.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Well, Eric wasn't convinced, but believe it or not, as soon as we set up on the next hole...
What you got there? You guys do have fish up here, as
it
it
was
turns out.
fish on.
Uh-huh.
A drift rod.
May not be the biggest one in the river, but it sure feels good after a long, cold Canadian winter.
Yes, sir.
You guys get cold weather down here?
No,
Sure?
it's not. It's not allowed in the States. We have it. There's a little sign at the border.
Yeah. Steelhead.
The bite is on. No, I don't see him yet.
Not yet?
No, but I got to believe that's not a stick in the water there. No, I see color. I see color. Throw the harpoon, Bob. Get a tail rope. Well, that's a different show. that's kind of what we was hoping to see a little of. Look at that. Pretty enough. Swim the other side of the boat for a while.
Yeah.
It's going to show you the whole river.
Yeah, it looks like a chromer almost.
I think it's a big brown, actually. I think that's a big brown trout.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think so. We'll take a brown.
That's a pretty good size one, too, for here.
Gorgeous.
Look at that.
Brown trout, check.
Yeah, obviously Bob knows how to find one of those.
Yeah, you know your fish. Have you fished here before? A couple times.
You want to trade me places, Bob? See if you can put a net onto that?
Scoop him up and just ease him in here. All right. Beautiful fish. Gorgeous. Yeah.
Nice job.
Beautiful.
Nice fish.
Yeah. Got him on. See that nice fly? Got him on? Pink fly?
I see that he hit that little tinsel fluffle pink whatever that was.
That is cold.
Yes, it is. About 33 degrees cold.
That's beautiful. Nice.
Gorgeous fish.
Excellent.
All right. You ready to put her back?
Yeah, let's put it back.
No.
That water's a little cold.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess I'm glad I'm running the camera, doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah. Are you ready to go? Nice. Beautiful.
All right, brother man.
All right,
Hey,
nice
listen,
work.
I've warmed up. Good 10 degrees right now.
Good.
Fahrenheit.
Well, there you Fahrenheit. Thank you.
Fahrenheit, yeah.
Well, he throws in the conversion rate because you know us Americans, we couldn't have figured that out.
Awesome.
Nice
great.
fish, brother.
Right, thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Now,
That was great.
Good deal.
that's the brown trout.
Okay.
How about steelhead? We could try one of them. What do you say? We're here.
Next trip.
Yeah, we're here.
Let's do it.
Thank you, man.
And speaking of that steelhead, a little later that day,
Eric Lund at the 11th hour.
That snag is moving.
The snag is. What do you mean, snag is moving?
Hey,
You're right. It does appear to be swimming.
The real one.
oh, geez, that's a beaut.
Now, don't get all excited.
Whoa.
Call the Coast Guard. What are you doing? What's
How
with
far is it down to the Manistee?
I don't know. It's going to be in Lake Michigan pretty quick.
Wow.
We waited all day,
We did.
but at the last moment,
About time.
yeah.
You go for a while, it's always worth it.
Oh, yeah. Now all of a sudden it seems like it's perfectly reasonable.
Always worth it. This is a really nice fish here.
Yeah, I don't think it's real heavy, but boy, he's putting up a real stink,
Yeah.
which is kind of what you come for,
Yeah. Oh, this it's pretty heavy too.
is it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a good look at it yet. Oh, yeah. That could be a trout.
Yeah, that is a trout. Whoa.
Where's he going there, mister?
It's kind of goofy over there. There you go. You got out of it.
Kind of doing the boat shuffle here. It's got a nice band on it too.
You ain't whooped him yet. Bob's got some faith in you. He got the net out.
Yep, I think we're going to get this one.
Boy, I wish he hadn't have said that, huh?
Please, those are fatal last words.
No doubt. There is a steelhead. Boy, just no quit in him either, is there? We're not done with
Not
you
quite
just
ready
yet.
Got it coming up now.
Well, we turn him. I don't know about that. Away from the motor. Ah!
No, yanking pretty hard. This
Huh?
thing is strong.
Straight up, 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 up. Up, up, up. Turn.
Yeah.
Ringo, right here.
Right.
Nice job, buddy.
Wow.
You look where we've come from. How far that fish took us down the river.
Wait a fight. Look at the colors on that thing.
That's a good one.
Beautiful.
That's
Look
a
at
beautiful
that.
Fish too.
Yes.
Look at the spots in it. Awesome.
Look at that.
Look at that, mister.
Wow. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Ah, beautiful.
I'm not sure you had to wait all day, but I guess it was worth the wait.
I'd be waiting a lot longer than that all day to get another fish like this. This is absolutely beautiful one. Yeah. We hooked it on
A little tiny white jig and a waxworm.
waxworms. Yeah.
Real simple.
Yeah. That's all. sometimes on conditions like this, you have to go down to that. We definitely got to get a picture of this.
Nice job, gentlemen. We get a picture here, and then we'll put him back.
All right.
Well, if you girls are done dancing,
All right.
put her back.
Okay.
Here she goes. Bob, thanks so much.
Great job,
Absolutely
man.
great.
Awesome fish.
Very beautiful way to end the day.
Nice job, guy. Not bad for an old guy.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's about time, but thank you, Mr. Bob, once again.
No problem, man.
It's been a glorious... I know what it is.
What's that?
The fishing's been a little slow, and I know why.
Why's that? That don't help with the clear water.
We don't ever have sunshine and decent temperatures fishing.
No, we need some sleet and snow. It makes for better TV.
It certainly made for better fishing.
Well, it made for a beautiful day, I will say that.
It did, and I appreciate you coming over. It's
After a long winter hold up, this is definitely a way to spend the day.
well, and all those people that said you can't just keep going to that guy's place in Canada. I have this to say. You're right. That guy from Canada came down here.
Came down, and I really appreciate it. Had an awesome day with you guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, let's go home and find some of that lasagna the boss said she'd make.
Sounds good.
That, my friends, is exactly how you hope a winter's day of fishing will go, and we truly enjoyed every single minute of it. I want to thank my buddy Eric for coming all the way over from Ontario, not just for our expo, but to do a little of that fishing with Bob Ison and I. And I truly hope we see some of you out there on the water catching yourself a big old chromer. And when you've had enough of that cold and snow, a spring trip down to southern Texas can be just what the doctor ordered. Chasing them thunder chickens around in the warm sunshine is better than any tonic you can buy in a store. Hey, I hope we see you out there doing some of one or the other or both. Maybe we'll see you at our expo in Cadillac, Michigan, the 15th through the 17th. And no matter where we see you, you know we're going to stop, share a story or two, a cup and a fire. And if for some reason we don't see you out there, friends, well, then I'll wait for you right back here so we can share another adventure from my Wilderness Journal.